Snuck away Wednesday to go out to Carta Valley to the ranch for the first time during rifle season this year. Full moon. I really wasn't expecting to see much. I had the moon up bright and the sun coming up. I had to kill yellow jackets when I got in the stand. They were everywhere. I'm looking for this buck we call Bevo. He's actually the only buck we're going to shoot this year is a cull. I'm seeing some does and a few different things, and something catches my eye down by the feeder, and it's a deer. I can't tell what it is, but I get the binoculars up and I slowly start scanning to see which deer it is, and to my surprise, it actually is the deer that we're after. It was the very first buck to come out this morning. At this point, I'm kind of regretting not sitting in my bow stand, but the wind was blowing fierce because the northern had just blown in. But he's about 15 yards from my bow stand. Of course, that doesn't mean he would have been there, but after I for sure confirmed it was the right deer, I get my 6.5 Creedmoor up and get dialed in. I already know the yardage and everything. Had ranged it, so I'm looking at him, and there's some panels in the way at the feeder pen, and so I make the decision whether or not to go for a neck shot or wait until he jumps out of the pen, because all I could see was from his neck up. And knowing the gun's dead on, I went ahead and took the shot, and the deer just disappeared. I lost sight of him for a second. I didn't know if he fell, if he ran, but I never saw him run, never seen him fall. So I sat there and I texted a couple people. One of them was Brother John. I told him, said, hey, I think Bevo's dead. And he congratulated me and told me he'd pray hopefully it was a short, easy trek. So after a little bit, I climbed down, and as I'm sitting there 20 foot hanging off the side of the stand, I raised the carpet up, and there's yellow jackets everywhere under there. So as I'm walking up to the stand, I still don't see the buck, but I think I can see the tip of his horns, and then when I get closer, I can for sure see his antlers there. So I got a little more excited and relieved then. Ironically, Brother John had got this text cell phone picture, and so he knew the deer was dead once he looked at his pictures. But I took some photos of it, set up since I was by myself. At this point, I took some photos and did the best I could being by myself, using my phone, leaning against a rock and taking some photos. But I get some pictures of it, and I take him back, go get my Sammy. And since I'm by myself and my back's been bothering me, I had recently purchased a hoist system where I could winch it up by myself. So I was able to go back and get the Sammy, and instead of picking him up and loading him up, I was able to use my hoist system for the first time. And so I never had to really pick him up. Picked him up with that hoist system and then drove him back to camp. And I actually left him hanging on there and skinned him out right there hanging off the Jeep instead of transferring him to the skinning rack. So I caped him out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna mount him or not, but it was a good morning hunt. Next hunt, I saw another buck chasing a doe right under me. Got some nice video and pictures of him. Later, we were filling one of the feeder pens up, and one of our breeder deer that we're not shooting, we had the opportunity to see him, and he walked right out and jumped in the pen right after we filled up the feeder as we were driving away. So it was nice to see him, and fixed some electrical issues. One of the hot wires had burnt through on the pole. And then as we were leaving last night, we saw a buck in the yard, literally in the front yard laying there. So got to see a lot of deer, killed some hogs. One of the guys here killed some hogs. So good weekend. Thanks for joining in with me, and I hope you can get outdoors yourself. Thank you.